And we're live on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Start it up, James.
This is procrastination and productivity. And I'm James. This is Joe. We're here to talk about doing stuff in our lives and not doing stuff in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Exactly. That's all we talk about. We never deviate.
No deviation here. This is season 2, episode 25.
Hot dogs.
And yeah,
We're 25
it's,
episodes into the season.
it's like in June. It's like some
Yeah.
getting close to midpoint of the year.
I mean, we're at the midpoint of the year. The midpoint of the year was 17 days ago.
What? Oh
Was
well, fine.
I mean,
I always considered July as like the middle point to me,
you
but
might be more right than I am. I'm not 100% certain.
well, I guess if 6 months have passed at the end of June, then yeah, at 7/1 it would be kind of like
But June is the 6th month, so only 5 months have passed? So it'd have to be, yeah, the end of June, right?
yeah. So July, the beginning of July is kind of like the midpoint of the year to me.
Yeah. Okay. Makes
But
sense.
anyway, yeah, Independence Day is like oh yay, halfway. Um. So anyway. We're
Well,
here to
James,
talk about how we're doing.
how are we doing, James? How are we doing?
Well, I had uh, I had a few things go on this week. My dad had knee surgery, and so he got out of the hospital, and I had to shuttle him around and help him at his house and do some stuff. So that took a few days out of my day, and then just basically, I haven't listened to anybody like writing wise, um, and I haven't listened to anybody like do mostly I've just been listening to like rando stuff on like health and things like that. Um, which is basically what my focus has been. I played a lot of 7 Days to Die too with Heather.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
How are you
but
liking it?
I'm I mean I'm liking it. I'm waiting for the new thing to come out soon. That's what we're really playing for,
Getting
is to kind of
getting all
get used to
practiced up.
things again, get all practiced up so that we can get our butt kicked again. Um, Heather's died twice. I haven't though.
Oh,
But
shaming Heather
I
live
know, I'm
on the
shaming
internet.
her live. Um,
I'm telling Heather.
yeah. Let's see. Oh man, it was a rough death too. But anyway, uh, we did something way too hard than we should have. It was full of green running things, and we
Mm.
were like pipe shotgun time.
Oh no.
It was bad. I lived though.
Yeah, I can imagine
Anyway,
how that happened. You see a bunch of that stuff coming, and you just ended up shoving Heather into the room and closing the door.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, seems about right.
And so let's see. I did open up my story, and I didn't do a lot of things in it though. It's just kind of like doing organizational things so that when I do want to jump in, I can do things. Organizing, and basically it was just kind of focused on my health. I got some gym memberships, and I haven't been there yet though. But you know, I have been losing weight, so that's good. And just kind of focusing on like, okay, when I'm a writer, I want to wear certain things, and I want to look a certain way, and I want to like, I want to feel like I'm not just some, you know, large writer like I have been. So
I
I
gotcha.
want to feel a certain way, and I don't want to die of a heart attack. So before I finish anything, so I figured that would probably help if I didn't. And so, but it's all been going good. I mean, at my peak, I was this year. Well, just 2 weeks ago, I was like 275. So now I'm in the 250s. So
There you
that's
go.
good. And I want to get into 200. Oh, there's a lot more way to go. A
You and
lot
me
more.
both. You and me both.
But yeah, I'm excited to go to the gym and do that. And just kind of like, been cleaning up my spots and just kind of like, I want to feel a certain way when I do this stuff. I know when I pull the trigger, I know now that I can do it and I know I can write. And I just want to, you know, not, you're talking on health kind of got me thinking about mine. And it was like, I need to work on that. I I can't not have that part of my life not working as I'm trying to strive as a writer too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I want it all to fit together into a nice, healthy, package. Um, where I can, because exercise and all that, it can make you feel good too, and that plays a part in writing and how often you do things, and so I figured I focus on that for a little bit, and it's felt pretty good. I feel a lot better too, and on Wednesday I'm gonna go to the gym and do a bunch on my day off.
Nice. You excited?
I am, I and then have all the muscles broken down to what I want to work on, and so yeah,
Oh, dang.
it'll be
Got like
cool.
a whole routine set up and everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, do you think it was mostly just focusing on health and um, working, like shuttling you around your dad and stuff, that kind of led to not getting a lot of stuff done to this week, or do you think there was some more?
No, it was that I'm just not ready to jump in and do that until I feel like the surroundings are good and the internals are good. And at first, yeah, because that happened in the beginning of the week with my dad, it it already wasn't giving me a good time period to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So once as I was doing all that stuff, when somebody has knee surgery, I was working on him with his health, and that kind of transitioned to me
Right.
with him talking about health first, because I was you know, just kind of talking all about it, like what you should be doing the first few days and all these things, and that kind of just led to me. Um, I was like, I'll do the same thing as you. This is what you should do. And so it was like, okay, well, now I'm like being healthy. And then it just kind of moved into, okay, well, health is the thing this week for me. And yeah, so that all moved into that. It was kind of just a smooth flow that I just went with.
Nice.
And so, in that respect, it was like, I'm not going to mess with kind of how things are right now. I'll just go with it and go to it with as much of a kind of extreme, that I that can also look for the future of what I want to do. And I do want to like have nice clothes that I wear. I don't want to just slob around as a writer. I want to like dress up. I want to like, feel like I'm getting up and working and look the part to what I want to look and go into my, computer area and just feel professional, and there's studies that say that helps,
Oh yeah, no,
So,
I think there is a level of like, I don't know exactly how to describe it as, but it's like the same thing from working from home. Like if you just like get up and do your like work from home stuff, you're not going to feel the same as though if you go get dressed, do all the things that you normally would do to go to work, put your socks and shoes on, and then start doing your work. Like, there are people that really thrive on that. And I think that's important to give a shot if you haven't. And I think it correlates the same with your writing. Like, I think you'll have a different feel if it kind of separates it. It becomes its own thing, which sounds like it deserves to be its own thing.
yeah, well, I mean, there's like studies where they like, sectioned off people in one group. They, gave them crappy outfits, and the other group they gave them like doctors, jackets, and they performed, tests on with them. Like, hey, do this test now. And the people that were dressed in lab coats, even though it was just random, people and all these things, they produced better results because they, you know, were in the doctor's outfits than the schmucks over here that were just slobbing around. And so, to a certain degree, the way you perceive yourself, you know, produces better results. And so, I'm not going to be dressed in no doctor's outfit, but I mean, I want to feel like,
Yams
I'm
MD.
the writer I want to be, and dressed like, I want to see myself. I don't know. I can't fit in anything. It looks good yet, but I get it there,
Mm-hmm. For
Give
sure.
it some time.
Nice. My week, my week was kind of boring. I did some painting last night. Not last night. The night before last night. Yeah. Um, one of my little humans came. Both my little humans came over, and two of us painted, did some water painting and stuff. And so I tried water painting for the first time since kindergarten, and I am terrible at it, but I'm excited to get more practiced at it. Um, a bunch of drawing this week. Um, yeah, it was a generally good week. I didn't get as much progress on my project as I wanted to, but it was still a good week.
And I know last week you were talking about health and stuff like that. Did you do anything for that, or
I was talking about health. I don't remember
I
talking
thought you
about health.
were. Oh, maybe it was the week before. I don't know.
I know my
What you're
hand hurt
talking
at one
about.
point.
Oh, I thought you were. You were eating. You were making more meals. You were thinking about counting calories. You were, focusing on that a little bit. How's Have you been making meals lately, or been?
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't afford to eat out very often. I'm always making meals. I brought them over um, to cook because I originally brought the little humans over for like just I was gonna invite them over for dinner because I make this really mean chicken and rice that I've been enjoying, and I wanted them to try it, especially the older one because they live by themselves, and so it's like they need to they need different options as far as food goes, and I was showing them an easy way of making some tasty food.
Nice.
And yeah, it's good. I have a lot of recipes that I'm going through. I'm trying to find out which ones I like, and I think there's only been one that I've made that I didn't like.
Mm, what was that?
Um, it was I can't remember the name of it. It's from recipetineats.com. It was not these. I liked all these ones. So, well, actually, I haven't made this one. I have the stuff to make this one yet, but I like the rest of these.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to
there's some noodle one.
check out some recipes myself when I decide to cook.
Yeah, if you want some suggestions, man, her stuff is so good, and she's very about like making sure it's price conscious too. It's not just like, oh hey, I'm gonna use 3,000-year-old aged wine. It's $3,000 an ounce.
And truffles from, Eastern Europe, individually packaged. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And a lot of her stuff is like one pot or that type of stuff, so it's like all very convenient. Like her spaghetti, it's actually a bolognese, but I just call it a spaghetti because bolognese sounds fucking pompous. And when I'm cooking, I don't want to sound pompous.
I would eat something somebody said was bolognese. Oh, bolognese. Okay,
Yeah.
I would.
No thanks. I don't like bologna.
Man, I used to live off bologna.
Yeah, I did too. Growing up, we used to like.
When you're young and dumb,
Yeah.
you like bologna.
Yeah, growing up, there was a lot of like bolognese or Jesus, bologna cooked like you fry bologna, and then you put in a Sammy.
Yeah,
On top
yeah.
of
I mean, to some degree, it doesn't taste bad.
No,
but you gotta work with it. I mean, it's not like, oh, I love to just snack on. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe there
It's
was
like
a
eating
time
cold hot dogs
when I had no flavor concepts. Food.
We've grown spoiled.
Parents not home. But yeah. So where are you at in your, art journey or whatever journey you're trying to be on? I guess what I'm like, I've seen what I need to see for myself on like what I can do, I think, when I want to do it. And now I'm like, I'm in the, every now and then I look at what people want kind of phase. I need to get back into that. I think this week I'm going to jump back into that. But I'm also in the cleaning up my life and focusing on myself a little bit more kind of spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like all the little details surrounding what I want to do, I'm working on. I don't want them to become an excuse, but right now I don't think they're an excuse. It's just like, I'm like, okay, I'm ready, but I'm not ready. Now there's other little parts of my life I want to fix a little bit before I start to really commit, because when I do commit, I don't want all those little things to mess with it and then feel like I have to stop and like not, because of them. So it's kind of like I want to fix my life a little bit so that when I do it, it's there are less things to get me off the rails. But after I said all that, I also don't think I'm going to be going at it like as hard as I could. I kind of want to have a nice flow in my life because I do want to play games and I do want to do all these things. I'm trying to figure out exactly the the flow. I'll just keep using that I
Mm-hmm.
want for my week so that because I don't do it for a living yet. And so I have to manage, all these other things like working and all of that. Um so I don't want to go at it completely hard, but I don't want to go, I want it to be a nice balance. And so I guess what I'm doing is I'm trying to make everything good on the periphery so that when I do begin, it can just like flow naturally and I get a decent amount of work done each week, and nothing derails me because I have kind of the rest of my life kind of managed well, and including my health. And yeah, I guess that's where I'm kind of at.
Okay. It's kind of like trying to get a balance in your life, something that's sustainable long term.
Yeah, not really long term because I'd like to think that at some point I'll transition to doing this writing thing as a full time.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like in the intermediate and short term, um, I want to have a good flow and a balance. Uh, and then obviously when I do it for a living, I'm going to have to ramp it up a little bit. But at that point, I probably will be fine with that. Happy to.
Nice. Yeah. My current position is I'm working on a couple projects. I'm working on a piece, and then I'm also working on that painting of the goat. And then from there, I'm going to transition to some other stuff. So I don't know what that stuff is yet, but I kind of like. There was this person that mentioned at some point that there's like every single day you get these like ideas of creativity. And a lot of the times you will dismiss them for one reason or another. He said you should listen to them and kind of try them. And so like that's what I'm leaning towards is listening to those ideas of creativity, the things that like sound like fun ideas and they spark joy and learning through those. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm working on an obligatory piece and I'm working on something to me that's fun and silly. And so I'm going to be learning skills both ways and it's like it's just like a little extra drive to get these done because I don't know, it feels like I'm not choosing them for boring reasons. I'm choosing them because they sound fun. If that makes any sense. Like I chose to do pancake and I enjoyed pancake, but it's not the same as choosing to do something that's silly, like sending my friend a picture of a goat or a painting of a goat.
Have you sketched that out at all, or
No, I haven't yet. That's either it's this week's plan or getting the other thing done and then I don't know. I'm probably going to bounce between the two. I think it's easier for me to do that. Um, I have been doing some thumbnails and trying to nail down exactly what I want the piece to look like in my sketchbook, but I haven't got anything like sketched out onto the canvas yet. So still trying to figure out. I was trying to think of like where I want the horizon, because I just recently like realized that depending on the horizon level depends on like camera angle essentially. And so
Yeah, you can definitely tell amateur photographer from where the horizon line is.
but yeah, that is, I'm thinking about a high horizon line. Wait, low horizon line? Low
I'll let you
horizon.
figure it out.
I want the camera on the ground looking up at the goat, so low horizon line. But yeah, it's, it's a work in progress. Those are my goals, is to be working on projects and learning skills from those projects. And I've been trying out different drawing steps. I'll send you a picture later this week, James, of what, or no, not later this week, after this call, of something I drew. I would show you guys. Actually, I'll show it on the Patreon. It is a little not safe for work, but it'll be on the Patreon, and there'll be some Wordle scribbles over the top of it too. It was a really hard Wordle, and I had to figure it out. So I wrote it out, and it worked.
Cool.
But yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want to discuss, James, before we close it out?
Just kind of like where I'm going from here, and where you're going from here, and how, there's. I think the health thing is going to end up being something that just kind of continues. So I don't want it to be like the entire focus of where I'm going next week. I will have gone to the gym though, so I'll probably say something about that.
Yeah, please do.
I need to do some just cleaning because I've slobbed up lately.
You seem the type.
So yeah, I am. I'm like this up and down slobby.
I'm telling
person.
you, man. I'm telling you, everything needs to
I
have
don't
its
want to
place.
hear it again, man. I don't want to hear it.
You need to Marie Kondo this.
Yeah.
Listen to that book. Absorb it.
Yeah. And then so periphery stuff, more flow stuff, I don't know. But then there's going to come a time when all that's done, kind of, besides things are going to continue. And then I should jump into my stuff. Will that be this week? I don't know. I want to find out.
So I have a question about your flow.
Yeah.
How do you think, how will you know when you've achieved, and let me clarify flow. I'm not 100% certain what you mean, but I'm assuming you kind of mean a balance, like a balance of things. Not necessarily them
Not
all being
entirely.
equal, but like,
it's more of like a magnetic draw. Okay, it's like I'm moving towards a goal, but there's this like field, this magnetic resonance field of all this other crap in my life, from how my desk looks to health to all these other little things that interfere with my being pulled to my goal. And I guess I can feel it I can see it. Maybe I'm, able to see the magnetic spectrum. But once that's kind of taken care of, to some degree, then the pull will be greater and I'll be able to go faster towards the goal. It's more of a feeling. I don't know, like I have a lifestyle I want to do. I have a person I want to be. I want to jump into that life. Um, and the closer I get to it, the more other little things I want to fix in my life before. I don't know. And, I have to examine it. It's like, okay, well, what am I doing? Am I just stopping myself or am I,
Mm-hmm.
really trying to take care of things so that I can, there's that you always have to wrestle with. But I, I do think, that it's kind of like they both exist. There's the part of you that is using it as an excuse, and there's the part of it that isn't an excuse. And they're moving together towards the goal. And as you deal with the issues that are in there, um, you're getting closer and closer to the person who is going to achieve what you want and going to be the person that you want. So it's like working on the things that are a lot more above or below the surface, rather, that aren't so skin deep. That kind of affects the way you do things, but when do you ever get a chance to really fix them? And it's going to derail you every now and then, but you don't really deal with them. Well, I want to deal with them. I want there to be really nothing that stops me. Once I'm a writer, in my mind, once I'm doing that, and I want to feel like the only thing that's going to stop me is when life itself forces me, when my dad has knee surgery, I gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
But I want my flow of my week to be, I'm going to get further on my main project. I'm going to do real work that changes, my situation from week to week closer to my goal. And I want to feel like I'm also not neglecting other areas and I'm not being unhealthy, and all these facets of my life are taken care of in a natural way that flows with what I'm doing. I know that's a lot of crap to say, but maybe that helps a little bit in understanding what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate the explanation because, yeah, it's because me and you have both discovered that words can definitely mean different things to different people. And so
Yeah.
it's good to kind of elaborate on what you mean to, because ideally we're not just, trying to get this stuff to work for ourselves. We're trying to get this to work for everybody. And so having those definitions, I think, does help. Now, my question is, do you feel like you're not able to work on stuff until you've gotten the rest of this all sorted?
Not necessarily. as I opened my file up and I was thinking, okay, I want to work on this, and deciding I wanted two separate documents, one with my comments and changes I want to make, and one with none of that. So when I printed it up, and so I made separate copies and organized them and did things like that. And then I was like, okay, well, before I jump in, you know, all this other health stuff and all these things were on my mind before then. And during while I was doing that, I just thought, it's not time yet. It's like the flow for me also is timing. It's like I want all those other things to be taken care of too. I don't I want myself as a writer, I want to feel good too as a writer. And I don't want to feel like there's something I haven't taken care of. And because this new job, this new life, I want to feel like it's complete. I don't want to feel like, I create a pattern that is only good if I neglect my health and I neglect my family and I neglect everything,
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel like I have all of those things included in my pattern. And the most that I can do sticking with all those things, that's the perfect that I can be. But if I only produce, and neglect those areas, then I'll probably die young and, I'll probably be a little more miserable. So it's all about being as productive as I can, but still as healthy and as nice of a life as I can at the same time. And I felt like, yeah, I'm not ready for that yet. I need to figure out a few more things, a few more details before I just jump in. And when I will jump in, it will be including all those things so that I can have a more realistic output for myself and be able to track that and keep on pace and not have an unrealistic, expectation and then feel bad because of it or
Mm-hmm.
something. All the things, that derail you in your mind. I want it to just not be a problem. I want me to just start, feel good, and go with it. And so I think I could do stuff, but I'm choosing to solve some of these other things and figure some of these other things out before I really begin. Doesn't mean I won't work on something.
Mm-hmm.
It just means I'm not completely ready to create like a final flow of my week yet.
Okay. So you do like plan on like writing this week then, at least a little bit.
I would like to on Thursday if I can. Um, but we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Sounds good, dude. Um, yeah, my goals this week are basically to get some really good progress on that drawing that I'm doing, and then start figuring out. Well, I think I have a general idea of what I want the sketch to look like for my goat piece, and it's gotten to a point where I'm like, I just want to start actually working on it. I just want to, I just want to do it now. So,
What stopped you from working on it?
the fact that I only have one canvas, and if I mess it up, I'm going to have to buy another canvas. Monetary constraints. So.
Well, you can always, paint black over it. If it sucks, and build up the paint layer.
It's true. It's very true. I might have to do that. But
My dad has like 500 canvases. Just repaint, black all over it. Start over, white
That's
all
great.
over it. Yeah.
But yeah, should be a good week. I'm excited for it. Yeah. Is there anything you want to talk about before we close it out here?
Any pearls of wisdom or any people that you listened to this week that particularly care to share anything from or all that?
No, I just think so I was doing some watercoloring and I drew a pretty cute chibi cat sketch. And I was like, I really like that. And then I tried to watercolor it and I ruined it. Like I did okay in the beginning and then I ended up ruining it. And I was like, oh. And I looked at it and I was just so disappointed. And I was like,
Do you know how
oh,
to
wait.
watercolor?
No.
Okay, well, do you put, like, let's say you were coloring the ear, right? Do you get water, put water alone on the picture first?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so put water on the ear, right? Just kind of like fill it with some water, and then dip your brush in the paint and just kind of like bling, and watch the water paint fill in to the water, and it'll just kind of like fill in.
Interesting.
So you color with water, fill in what you want, and then you use the paint to kind of like absorb and spread into the areas you want. Try that next time.
I will.
See how that works for you.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. Anyways, I was looking at my drawing and it was just atrocious. Thank you for that, James. I'll have to give that a shot.
You might enjoy it.
I plan on trying it again, so that'll be nice. I was looking at my terrible painting, and like part of me was like, oh, I'll never be good. Oh wait, no, I'm just bad right now because I'm new. like my brain cut off that like negative train of thought because of this like repeated mantra that I keep saying to myself, that the only, and I say to everybody else around me too, I was like, the only way to get good at something is to be bad at it. And so basically I live by those words, because if you, one of these days I will be showing, I think I've shown my terrible starting sketches before, but it's
maybe.
it's I think it was episode 1 actually of season 1.
Probably.
But
I think so.
One of these days I'll go through them, because I have a like screenshot of all of them. I'll go through them and we can talk about them. But basically it's like it takes time to get good at something. Like, and as someone who grew up gifted, I was the smart kid in school, like I knew all the things, and like as an adult, you get all this, like, all your praise was from external, like, being good at stuff. And so now if you're bad at something, you feel like a failure. You feel like you shouldn't do it. And it's like, I had to really fight to change that mentality. And And basically that mantra is my way of doing it. I see you holding back a smile, James.
Sorry, I'm coming up with all these jokes. I'm like,
I know you
like
are.
the
I know
bar
that
must be
face.
real low in your area, or like, all these. I'm imagining like the Far Side where the kids like school for the gifted. And he's like pushing on the pole side or whatever. I'm sorry, I
No, you
couldn't
gotta get
help
them out. You
myself.
gotta get them
I
out. I
couldn't
got
help myself. It was flooded in.
That's great.
Anyway.
Yeah, so basically it's about like changing your mentality from if you want to do something, but being bad at it is stopping you, just do it. You'll get better.
And you can watch much like us fail
Yeah,
and
we're good at failing.
gain some better insights by watching us over time. Don't want to do that. That's a mire pit over there. But you know what? I am sick of just, it's like every time I watch somebody, it's like, this is how you do it. This is how you produce. It's like, 3 points of mastery. Just get up and do this. And it's like that doesn't take life into account, That's like looking back when your life is perfect and going, oh yeah, this is all you have to do. Yeah, if you don't have a life, yeah, I guess that would work, but let's start from the beginning. Let's figure out how we get there. Then we can look back. Oh, well, all I had to do was wake up and drink my glass of water and do my 40 minutes of meditation and jump in my ice bath. No, it's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Would you?
I think it's going to be different for everybody too. Like, what gets them?
That's true. I'm never going to jump in an ice bath, though.
It sounds terrible.
Forget it. I don't care what.
I'll try it once, but man, it sounds terrible.
I'll watch you do it. Or, well, not in a bath. You know what I mean? Yeah, so. Yeah, this is us being true, and this is where we're at, and maybe in a year it'll be a lot different.
If not, we really need to evaluate what we're doing in life.
Yeah. I mean, there's been times in the last month or so that I've thought about just stopping this whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nobody needs to see me doing all this stuff. Nobody cares, and what does it matter? I mean,
Are those rhetorical? Because I have answers.
no, they're not really rhetorical. It's like,
Okay.
I've really thought about quitting. I really have.
So
It's like
the reason why it matters is we're not doing this. We're doing that. Okay. There's 2 reasons we're doing this. We're not only doing it to help people. Surprise, surprise. We aren't just some great humanistic entrepreneur. I don't know what we are. We are trying to get better at our lives. And these are weekly check-ins that require us to actually do something and actually do it. And it's something that we've done for a year and a half now?
Yeah.
Weekly check-ins. We used to do these every 6 months.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, and I remember every 6 months, like for the next week, I'd be really on top of my game after our travels. And then after that, it was back to the same old, same old.
Yeah.
But now we're just doing it. So
That's true. There
we're
has been,
actually doing stuff, James. That's the reason why.
yes. Yes. And the change over time, like you had mentioned last few episode a while back, was it has been pretty profound comparatively.
Oh yeah.
And
Like I'm drawing every day. That is awesome. That makes me happy. And I have so for I think almost 2 months now. I think it's actually over 2 months.
I am closer to producing something and putting it out
You're in
than
the
I
editing
have
phase on
ever done
something.
that. Yes, that is true. I'm on that phase. So, yeah, it has had been on my mind. Um,
So why do you think it's been on your mind?
well, I mean, probably all sorts of reasons. I don't know. Um, just it's like I just don't know. There's probably a lot of reasons, and it's probably just more of a why does anybody need to see when nothing's kind of happening, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, does anybody really want to see that? And I guess, you know, but I didn't really quit. And I just thought, this must be something I'm going through. It's just, is it like a way for me to stop? Is it a way for me to, divert, you know? And since I don't really know the answer to that, I'm just going to continue and figure it all out, you know? I don't really know. It's I haven't really felt like you made me in the last episode. We didn't really talk much at all, and I just thought, oh, what if that continues? What if that's, does anybody really need to hear any of this, Um, so I don't know. That's kind of not much, just kind of a feeling. It's like, does anybody really need to see every single week of what I'm going through, you know?
So yeah, this has been a repeated question that's been coming to your mind probably for the last couple of months. Because I remember at one point you were going to like write down the reasons why you felt that at the time, that type of thing. But
About
as
what?
far about
This has been
quitting,
a repeat?
mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep,
I don't remember talking about this lately.
yeah, there was talk. I want to say last month in May about why you want to quit, and then that you were going to write down reasons why when you felt those.
Well, I don't remember. That is my bad memory for you.
Yeah. It's all good. I have even worse memory. My brother compares me to Alzheimer's patients. So he sent me a video that was so mean. He's like, "Oh, this is you." And it was so mean.
Yeah, I feel like I have really bad memory. But I mean,
And specifically about, you asked why they need to watch you on these week to week basis on doing these things. And I think it's important to understand that, like, we're being able to see the whole entire process and not just the highlights really is the process. It's not just hitting key highlights along the way. This is the process.
it's not just 10 points to success.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
going to be points of stagnation. It's going to be moments of frustration. And it's how you get through those, how we figure out how to get around those. I mean, I'm not saying you're stagnating. I'm just, it's not going to always be fireworks and water guns.
right.
And that's just the nature of what we're trying to do. We're trying to go from people who have tried doing things by themselves and without this accountability, and we haven't. And so we're looking for how to do it. And this is the process.
Yeah, I shouldn't. It's, to some degree, you think about it as one episode at a time, but in reality, it is the entire kind of history. It's like, this is like the bottom of the barrel, guy here. Can you crawl out of that pit? Is it possible? Here you go. Maybe there's hope yet. Yeah, I guess every week does matter in its entirety.
Yeah. And as far as content for these episodes, like, it might just take a little bit of work on our part to, like, dive into different motivational styles or different getting things done styles, and we can contemplate and talk about them and maybe try and incorporate some of their ideas into our own. That could be an avenue that we go. We have infinite possibilities as far as where we want to take this episode or these episodes. Because
yeah, it's true. I guess if we want to, talk before we just jump in and be like, "Hey, did you got much today?" if it's like, no, maybe we should, think about sidestepping and reviewing some method or something like that. Yeah, I guess that is a possibility. Maybe we should do that. Go. Well, I feel a little better when it comes to all of that. I was feeling like that. But now I am not. So that's good.
Yeah, that is
Thank
good.
you, Joe.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's important to me that we both succeed. And I think this is the route in which we succeed. I think weekly accountability is where it's at. Speaking of which, if you want weekly accountability, subscribe to to our Patreon, where you too can be accountable to us. We will contact you. We will Discord
Oh
call
yeah,
you.
you
And
know
we
how
will
good
hard
we
you.
are.
We will ask you the hard questions.
We will. And you'll feel just as bad as we do when we're asked the hard questions. So if you want to pay for that feeling, go for it.
Yeah. um. But yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy going up here and being like, ugh, do I have to re-examine everything again? Why? Can I just live a normal life where I don't have to work on all these other things? Can I just live a life where I don't have to worry about whether I'm drawing or whether I'm making pieces or whether I'm, signing up for art fairs or doing all these things? And the problem with a normal life, it's unfulfilling. It's something will be missing. You'll just be working for the man until you die, which that's fine if that's what you want to do, but you're still going to have this like desire to create. This feeling of emptiness. And I think it's important that we create. And I think this is how we create more often, through these weekly check-ins.
I'm down. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Next week. Bye.